Hey, my name's Alex, and this is where I document everything self growth and personal journey. Today, I'm going to talk about how everything in life is ultimately your fault. And so, to get this out of the way to begin with, it's like there's this idea that people are born with certain disadvantages and so on, physical, mental, situational. But you can only play with the cards you've dealt. And so you have two choices there. So you're at a disadvantage, right? And so what? You can either work through it, work past it, or you can be a victim and just blame all of your failures and issues on everything else and things you can't control, and you get to just continue to live your victim life. Or you can take responsibility for it and do the things that will change. You are in full control of your outcome. And the reason I say that is that, like, we ultimately can control others' behavior based on our behavior. If we can control ourselves, we can control other people. And the perfect story for this is when I was a child. I have four other siblings, right? I was the second of five, and they enjoyed bugging and tickling. And I had this problem, and they would continue to bother me and tickle me. And I realized, okay, if I can control myself when they attempt to tickle me and just stare them down, eventually they will feel dumb and they will stop tickling me. Does that mean I'm ticklish or not? I won't admit it. But I do know that if you are able to control yourself long enough, you can then control the environment around you. You can't always control everyone's actions, but based on your behavior, other people will react. And so this scenario of someone trying to tickle you, like your knee-jerk reaction is obviously to pull away, to freak out, to laugh. If you can just control yourself long enough while literally staring down that person, they are going to feel dumb and leave you alone. And that's ultimately in your control, which is why being tickled, maybe that's your disadvantage. You can take responsibility for that and then move and act in a way that makes everything around you shape around what you want. And so as long as you live through life with this disadvantage, I'm a victim mentality, you're always going to, like, that's all you're ever going to be. Until you take the leap and say, okay, this is just where I'm at. What can I do now to get XYZ result? And that's ultimately with everything. Like, you see, like, 16-year-old prodigies at whatever. Well, guess what? They took all the actions necessary to get to whatever point they're at, right? And we have this, like, idea that people are, like, inherently talented at things. I would say that they weren't inherently talented at it. Someone just encouraged them, so they did it more. And the more they did it, the better they got. And then, like, that's how it works with anything. You ought to be a professional sportsman. Like, play that sport and practice that sport long enough. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school team. Like, he got cut. He didn't even make the, like, C team. Just like, you're done. You can't play basketball. But you know what he did? He practiced long enough, and now people say, like, oh, he just had talent. No. Like, there's a clear difference. And so anything in life that you want, it's just, are you taking the actions to eventually get that? And I think people underestimate, like, majorly what's required to get to a certain place. Like fully. And there's structured paths that'll eventually get you there. And that's what degrees are, right? Like, hey, I can, like, skill you in this thing, but it's going to take you 4 years. If you had that same mentality with, like, anything, like you would be incredibly good. It only takes like 1,000, like I think it's 10,000 hours to be like top tier, and I think it's only about 1,000 hours to be like in the 95th percentile of something. But like people just don't, like they won't try something for 1,000 hours to actually become good at it, and that's ultimately where all the responsibility lies on you. It's you haven't done the actions to get you to the place that you want to go. You like, and that's again, that's the big difference, like between like the super successful in business and the not so successful. It's the difference between want and need. Like people are like, oh, that would be nice, but they're not willing to take the actions to get there, because the actions that it takes to get there aren't nice. The outcome is nice though. And if you like, I love this idea of like, you don't have to worry about the goal. You just have to worry about the very next step, the actions that you can take today that will get you eventually there. And as long as you take those actions continually, you will get there. And like the goal is a side effect. So like I'd encourage you, like I've talked about this in previous videos, like it's a sweet idea that like just focus on the next step. Like what is the very next step that I need to take? And I fully believe we all inherently know like what's the next thing that we could do to get better. And most of the time it seems insignificant that we just completely overlook it. And so like in this whole realm of like controlling yourself, like the coolest like bullying hack I've ever seen is this guy got bullied regularly, constantly getting bullied. And he decided, you know what? I'm actually not gonna like go on the defensive. I'm gonna, and he doesn't have to do this forever either. I'm just gonna control myself, and I'm gonna say only good things to this person. And like the coolest, the most interesting thing happens is like the more they try to tease you, and the more you're like, you know, yeah, like I'm a loser, but man, like you're one of the coolest guys I ever met. Like you're so like, and be genuine, and eventually like their walls fall down, and you just keep giving them compliments, and eventually they like the bullying stops, because here's the wall they put up, you walked around it, and suddenly made them feel good about themselves, because that's usually what bullies need. Like something has been taken away from them, and like you're just giving them what they need. And so you can control the bully by controlling how you act in response to the bully. That's how it works with anything. Like if you do the actions long enough, whatever the action is, you're going to get there eventually. And it's just being able to wade through the suck until you get good enough at something that you can like actually reap the rewards. Yeah, man. Like that's the whole point of this like I'm looking at my notes just of what I want to talk about, and like that's it. Take responsibility. You can be a victim, and you know your life's gonna suck, or you can take the blame and your life's gonna suck for a little while, and eventually it'll get better. And then people are gonna look like there's this phase of like when you start something new, you suck. People are going to make fun of you. You got to make it through that. And people are going to say, oh, like they're never going to make it. And then if you keep doing the thing long enough, it'll eventually turn into them looking like an idiot because they ever doubted you. And that's the full transition. So it's like, can you get past the embarrassment, which is just a wall inside yourself, so that you can continue to progress into things you want? Like, who cares what other people think anyways? If you're able to control yourself, the world is your oyster, man. Seriously, the world is your oyster. So just realize everything is your fault, and then come up with solutions from there. What can I do to fix this problem? Like assigning the blame isn't fixing anything for anyone. So why don't you just take that on for yourself? And if you notice, the best leaders, The best managers, the best bosses, the best people are the ones who take responsibility and then find a solution. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.